I'm not pro-Russia, pro-anybody. I just want to have this country be safe. I don't want nuclear weapons, even people thinking about it. You know, Russia and the United States control 90% of the nuclear weapons in the world. And getting along with Russia, and not only for that reason, that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
All right, the president says that before, and he said it in the past, and he said it again last night. Of course, Tucker did his interview a couple of days ago when he was over in Finland.
That's right. Right after the press conference, Tucker got a one-on-one with him. So did Sean Hannity. So we aired one the first night and then one last night. Let's bring in Tomi Lahren. She's out in California, I assume, which is where she lives. Great to see you this morning. Thanks for waking up super early. What do you think, Tomi, about...
It's good to see you.
Thank you. What do you think about the president's comments and the way the media treated him?
Well, there were many on the left and, of course, some of our favorite never-Trumpers who were upset about this press conference before it even began because they will use any excuse to be outraged at this president for doing exactly what he said he was going to do, which was try to repair relations with Russia. And beyond that, this investigation, this endless investigation, has been going on for far too long, and there's been no evidence of collusion. This president is fed up, as are most of the American people. If there's evidence of collusion with Russia, we would like to see it. If not, stop wasting our time, because the candidates that the Democrats wanted to win did not win in 2016. Let's move on. This president is fed up. I'm fed up. I'm sure everyone watching is fed up with this at this point.
Right. Well, Tomi, the rhetoric from the left regarding what he said, and he said he misspoke yesterday when he clarified yesterday in the Roosevelt Room, but the rhetoric from the left has been really hyperbolic. I mean, some people said that what he said was worse than 9/11, worse than Kristallnacht, worse than Pearl Harbor, that he's a traitor and it's treason. It's a complete Trump derangement syndrome example of sometimes it happens like that on the left.
Oh, these are the final stages of Trump derangement syndrome, and you're going to see it more and more as we head into midterms. But again, I will have folks look at this, and I'll have them ask the Democrats, many of the never-Trumpers, and of course many in the mainstream media, do you want this president to wage war against Russia because Hillary Clinton lost the election? It's a very simple question, because if you look at the outrage, the selective outrage, I might add, from the left, it would almost seem as if that is what they want. So that is my question to them. Moving forward, what would you have this president do? Would you like him to work towards diplomacy and world peace, or would you like him to be aggressive towards Russia because Hillary Clinton lost the election? Very simple.
Right. And let's just look at the results. The tax cut was only for the rich, really. Look at the economy. You can't argue with that. North Korea, well, it was all falling apart. Talks aren't going well. Yesterday, we got the remains, I understand, of 50 Korean War veterans. So that is on track, plus a letter back and forth. And now we have an understanding that if the Russia deal comes forward, we're going to have a series of consistent meetings with higher-ups in Russia for the most contentious issue in the world right now. So the results and the anger will subside if the results are different and they are turning out the way the president says.
Do you think the Democrats want this president to have any victories? Because I haven't seen one indication of that thus far into this presidency. All of those things that you mentioned, all of the accomplishments, it almost seems that the Democrats are rooting against this president and therefore rooting against this country. This issue is no different.
All right. Tomi, let's switch gears. There's a 28-year-old political newcomer. She's a socialist who won the Democratic primary here in New York City. Her name is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And I don't know if she really has a handle on how the jobs thing works, but she had this observation about the unemployment rate, which right now is very low.
Unemployment is low because everyone has two jobs. Unemployment is low because people are working 60, 70, 80 hours a week and can barely feed their kids. And so I do think that right now, when we have this no-holds-barred, Wild West hyper-capitalism, what that means is profit at any cost. Capitalism has not always existed in the world, and it will not always exist in the world.
Okay, so what do you make of her economics ideas where the reason unemployment is low is because everybody's got two jobs?
Isn't it disturbing that the, quote, future of the Democratic Party doesn't know how the unemployment rate is calculated? I didn't think there could be a better face for the Democratic Party than Hillary Clinton, but then Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez came along, and I have to tell you, it's disturbing, but like I told you guys a couple weeks ago, if this is truly the new face of the Democratic Party, I really like our chances in November.
A couple of things, Tommy. She is diametrically opposed to you, but I like when talented people like you and her, she's got talent, get into politics. So I don't like the way everyone's vilifying her, but I just have a problem when Tom Perez says she's the future of the party and they know nothing about her. In fact, Joe Lieberman came out yesterday and said, Joe Crowley should do what I did. When I lost my primary, I went back in as independent and I went back and won my seat. That Joe Crowley should go try to do that. Do you think he should go do that?
Well, for the future of this country, I would hope that reasonable Democrats are coming forward and challenging someone like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, because the things that she's saying are truly toxic. When she raves about socialism, I wonder if she's looked at Venezuela lately and the fruits of what socialism produces. Again, it's disturbing, and it's disturbing because a lot of young people are looking to her as the future of the Democratic Party, and I think the Democratic Party deserves better because, remember, people flee from socialism, not to it. And we don't need leaders like her preaching the value of socialism to our young people, to our citizens.
Yeah, but you think about it, during the last presidential cycle, who was the red hot on the political left? It was Bernie Sanders, and he's a socialist, and he had a lot of kids interested in his message. Yeah. And here she is today.
Well, you have to also consider, too, where her region, where she lives. She lives in New York. I don't know if that message would also work in other parts of the country where you do have blue states. But we'll see.
Tommy, have a great week. Thank you very much for joining us on this Wednesday.